I'm not wearing shoe. Hello there, welcome to GTV Breakfast News. I am Multi-Sider Sadiq. We have a lot in store for you this Tuesday, but we're starting with the news. A lot of stories making headlines. We'll do politics, education, health, and then we'll do some business and take you to the foreign front. Wherever you are in Africa and the world, you can watch us on DSTV channel 278. On social media, we're streaming at GTV Ghana. Now, the continued growth of Afriyiekoto and development of Africa is intertwined, and the question we should ask ourselves is what we can do for Afriyiekoto to help us navigate the turbulence in the financial market, says President Akufo-Addo at the 30th anniversary of Afriyiekoto in Accra. The President said Africa's financial institutions are undercapitalized, and this calls for the building of synergies among financial institutions on the continent.
The last frontier. But trade is a driver which will put the over 800 million of its youthful population out of the bracket of unemployment and poverty. And this is what a 30-year-old Pan-African institution, Afriyiekoto has set itself to do. At the ongoing annual meetings in Accra, which is the hub for the African Continental Free Trade Area AFCTA, Ghana's Finance Minister, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, was upbeat that with synergy among financial institutions in Africa, the continent can not only learn from the Korea experience, which in the 60s had a per capita income of $82, but as of 2022, it's hovering around $33,000.
Our aspirations must be to build on a deeper sense of shared responsibility and ensure our institutions are supported enough to crowd in trillions of dollars worth of financing into Africa. Indeed, with a mandate that combines social, economic, financial, and environmental goals under the guidance of Professor Rama, we can contribute an incredible amount of work toward our collective goal of achieving a prosperous Africa within the next 30 years of the bank's existence.
The president of Afriyiekoto, Professor Benedict Orama, said Africa is on the cusp of transformation, but that can happen when Africans on the continent of the Caribbean put their resources together to scale up trade among themselves.
You can now understand why for 60 years it never saw the light of day. You can now appreciate why we need our own institutions if we hope to attain our developmental aspirations. Your Excellency, 60 years ago, the founding fathers of the OAU aspired to develop trade among African states by organizing and participating in African trade fairs. Afriyiekoto performs the organization of the trade fairs, of which 2 had been held in Cairo, Egypt, and Durban, South Africa, respectively.
Prime Minister of Barbados, Ian Motley, said the aspirations of the forebears of Africa and the Caribbean is largely hinged on having strong financial institutions with the muscle to bankroll projects that can lift millions out of poverty through trade.
The Caribbean Development Bank, the CARICOM Development Fund have a duty to work with us all to ensure that whatever is necessary to make both the financial and economic case of connectivity is put in place, because the next major step of cementing this relationship is not about leaders coming and mixing with other leaders, but it is about ordinary people moving in their own time and space to be able to make those friends, to make new family, and to make new business.
President Akufo-Addo said Afriyiekoto demonstrated its relevance during COVID-19 pandemic by releasing billions of dollars to procure vaccines for the continent at a time that global multinational institutions were inward looking.
Afriyiekoto is not just a great African institution committed to history, but it is also very committed to the development of our continent and of countries in the African diaspora. The pillars of its 6th strategic plan currently under implementation, that is intra-African trade and AFCFTA implementation, as well as industrialization and export diversification, are perfect illustrations. They are aligned with the aims of the AFCFTA and the African Union Agenda 2063 and reflect Both the agility and relevance of the institution, which over the years has become one of the most systemically relevant financial institutions on the continent.
With a share capital of $750 million in October 1993, Afreximbank can now boast of a share capital of $6 billion, and it is projected to grow to about $60 billion by 2053. Edward Nyaku, reporting for GBC News.
Night 2, the ECOWAS meeting on the new European Union financial instruments to support regional integration has ended in Accra. The meeting discussed ways to enhance coordination of priority sectors such as transport, connectivity, peace and security for the overall benefits of the people of the SAP region.
The European Union is the world's biggest donor of development assistance, the first trading partner and the first foreign investor for almost every country in the world. The 2021-2027 budget for third countries will increase the effectiveness and visibility of the EU's external policies, strengthen coordination with internal policies, and give the EU the flexibility needed for a faster response to new crises and challenges. The instrument is expected to channel the biggest share of external action funds with a budget of €79.5 billion. It will be the EU's main tool to contribute to eradicating poverty and promoting sustainable development, prosperity, peace and stability.
West Africa is a very close partner to the European Union, very close on political terms, very close in terms of geography, in terms of economy, and in terms of issue of common interest, notably peace and security.
The Accra consultative meeting between the Economic Community of West African States, European Union and the West African Economic and Monetary Union was to fine-tune the priority areas submitted by the West Africa countries and adopt a roadmap for implementation.
Yes, we have new financial agreements. Is it in line with our regional priority, national level? So we have a lot of issue of sharing of information, accountability. So all of these issues will be discussed, and we need to have a clear picture of what the support is about. We're hoping that at the end of the day we'll have at least a good framework, a good roadmap to know who is doing what. And in terms of implementing, do we at the end of this process, are we going to really benefit and then to build the capacity of our own agency of implementation and so on in the region?
The Internal Audit Agency has engaged audit committees in a sensitization program on the new audit committee guidelines issued by the Ministry of Finance on the advice of the IAA to replace an old one that was in use in 2017. The new guidelines are to inject fiscal discipline in managing public funds and improve operational efficiencies of audit committees while positioning them better as a statutory institution to effectively support public institutions.
The new audit guidelines were circulated by the Minister for Finance on the advice of the Internal Audit Agency this year. The new guidelines are to retool and restructure audit committees across the public sector to be effective in supporting public financial management in Ghana. Audit committees are important in building resiliency and confirming how companies are preparing to respond to and manage risks in the year ahead. At a sensitization program in Accra, the Director General of the Internal Audit Agency, Dr. Eric Odrosai, said the audit committees are for public institutions but are to technically support the work of the internal auditor set up under the PFM Act.
Previously, the Electoral College for the election of audit committee chairman are only the three external persons. But now we are saying that the Electoral College must be all 5 statutory members. It has also clarified the procedure for co-opting members into the audit committee. Another area of clarity is about the submission of reports, the frequency of meetings, and how relevant audit committees are as far as the financial operations of public institutions are concerned.
A representative from GIZ, Mr. Habili Dauda, said the guidelines are important for the audit committees in the discharge of their duties while helping to address the gaps that contribute to financial malfeasance.
We should also applaud efforts by the Internal Audit Agency to roll out an inclusive capacity building and sensitization exercise that not only targets audit committee members, but as well bring in core management of the covered entities, especially the MMPCs.
Audit committee members were urged to perform their duties diligently in the best interest of the nation. With these new guidelines, the IAA says working with key institutions to restructure and strengthen audit committees in critical sectors is necessary to build a resilient economy.
Let's do politics now. With about 5 days to close of nominations, flag bearer hopeful of the New Patriotic Party MPP, Dr. Owusu Afriyiekoto, has filed his nomination forms to contest the MPP presidential primaries. The former Food and Agriculture Minister in his address noted that his vision, if adopted and implemented, would change the fortunes of the party and transform Ghana's economy, with special highlights on the agricultural sector.
Supporters of Dr. Owusu Afriyiekoto gathered at the party's head office at Asylum Down to offer their support. After 3 weeks of touring the 16 regions of Ghana and interacting with party delegates, Dr. Owusu Afriyiekoto has officially submitted his nomination forms to the Presidential Elections Committee at the MPP headquarters in Accra. Dr. Owusu Afriyiekoto promised to leverage on the potential of the agriculture sector to turn the economic fortunes of the country around when elected flag bearer and ultimately the president of Ghana in 2024.
Today marks a landmark in my journey to bear the flag of the New Patriotic Party, and with that, to lead this country into our future prosperity. The same way I was able to bring agriculture to the front line of policy discussion, to be the same way that agriculture will be used to take us out of the clutches of the IMF. During the 6 years of my service in the Akufo-Addo government, we laid the foundations, both in terms of programs, in terms of legislation, in terms of intellectual capacity and all that, to build an agriculture which will provide the finances, both foreign and local, to finance our industrial development, to finance our education, to finance our health, to finance our infrastructure, including motorways, farm tracks, and all the requirements that we need to make a good country.
The exercise that opened on May 26 ends on Saturday 24th June 2024. So far, 11 presidential aspirants are competing for the MPP's flag bearership slot.
Still on politics, former campaign manager, policy advisor and former energy minister, Mr. Boakye Kyerematen has submitted and filed his nomination to lead the MPP into the 2024 general elections. At the MPP's headquarters in Accra yesterday, Mr. Boakye said his contribution to the party since 1992 and personal leadership qualities and credentials put him in a good standing to be flag bearer and lead the party to victory in 2024. He, however, appealed to the executives of the party to ensure that all candidates play by the rules of the election for a free and fair internal process.
On 26th May, Mr. Boakye Kyerematen picked nomination forms to contest for the NPP presidential primaries. After almost 1 month of touring the country and interacting with party delegates, Mr. Jakun on Monday morning was at the NPP headquarters to submit his filled-out nomination to the Presidential Elections Committee and pay his filing fees. And he was given a warm family welcome amid singing and chanting Mr. Jakun as the best to lead the NPP into the 2024 general elections. After inspecting the endorsed nomination forms from all the 16 regions and the banker's draft, a member of the Presidential Elections Committee, Mr. Evans Nimakun, received the forms and handed over a copy of the Constitution and receipt of payment to Mr. Boakye Kyerematen. Mr. Evans Nimakun reminded him to play by the rules and regulations governing the process.
Have in mind the party at all times. We know you've been doing that But at this point, where competition has been triggered, there could be some temptations. But we want to urge you that at the end of the exercise is the new patriotic party based on which we'll go into elections 2024.
Mr. Jacko said he has played a fair game and expects same from other contestants.
I am a child of this party, real and true. This is my second time of contesting, and without fear of contradiction, I can hold myself as having stayed true to the rules and regulations that govern our electoral processes from the beginning, from polling station all the way to the presidential.
Addressing the supporters after the submission process, the former energy minister said his previous record at the energy ministry shows he can deliver and fix Ghana's economic challenges.
I am interested in this party retaining power for the next 40 years, not just breaking the 8. Not just breaking the 8. Be in power for the next 40 years. This is the only way we are going to change this country. It is going to depend on you. 40 years I will not be here, but the party will, and we must build a strong party that you are comfortable in. Most importantly, that you receive the reward of your hard work.
Submission of the nomination and filing for NPP presidential primaries is expected to end on Saturday, 24th of June, 2023.
Away from politics, let's look at road infrastructure. The dualization of a road linking School Junction to the Accra-Tema Motorway is about 80% complete. The 5.8-kilometer road reconstruction is being executed by Oswald Investments. Ghana is playing host to an upcoming All-African Games, which will take place at the University of Ghana, and the project is to provide easy access routes to the University of Ghana's Games Village, while providing sustainable transport services to facilitate economic growth and connect people to essential services. Clara Milano reports.
The 5.8-kilometer project, scheduled to be completed in 18 months, involves the construction of the main carriageway, service road and access road to the stadium and variations of a roundabout, a 428-meter Tema Boteman slip road and a 308-meter Boteman Accra slip road. The Boteman Accra slip road links the School Junction Boteman road to the Accra-bound motorway. The Tema Boteman road is a deceleration route of the motorway route. The contractors, Oswald Investment, say work will be completed on schedule.
How this route joins the motorway. We have a motorway expansion project. We're going to start very soon. What we have here is a runabout, and we have slip roads as a merging lane and a diverging lane to the motorway. And we also have a link to a road, that's a 5.8-kilometer road, and also another one to the Boteman community, which joins the road to the affordable housing.
The roads minister, Mr. Kwesi Amoakwata, was happy work was progressing steadily and applauded the local construction firm for doing a yeoman's job. Explaining government's decision to reintroduce the collection of road tolls, the minister said it would be done with modern facilities to enhance revenue collection and expansion of highways.
Tolling will come in a different form from what it used to exist. If we have to build toll booths now, like this motorway, we have a tolling system in it. It will come with a proper toll booth being built, and we are going to make sure that as much as possible the human element is reduced to the barest minimum. So it will come at the right time.
The minister and his entourage also inspected work on a viaduct over the Accra-Tema Motorway from the Flower Pot roundabout on the Spintex Road. The ramp is a dual carriageway with asphaltic concrete surfacing which links the Spintex Road and East Legon and adjoining areas. The project consultant warned haulage truck drivers coming from Tema Harbour to be mindful of the 4.5 bridge limit.
It is clear to the media that any truck that comes which is more than the 4.5 will direct you to go back to where you came from. So we are going to be very strict with that. So because of, if you don't have a height problem, there's not going to be any delay. And we are going to do a little bit of a lay-by for the trucks that we suspect will go beyond the 4.5. If we measure and they don't meet the distance, we'll guide them nicely. We have a U-turn, that will be a temporary U-turn, and they will go back. So for them not to waste their time, their fuel and everything, we are telling them that before you move from the harbor or wherever you are coming from, whether Togo or wherever, check the height of your vehicle.
Mr. Mwakwata urged the construction firm, China Railway Number 5, to speed up to avoid a traffic hold-up on that stretch.
To minimize traffic congestion, particularly during peak hours. Talking about excellent traffic management issues. The public must also treat tolerance. No pain, no gain. As the construction is going on, we are by all means going through some inconveniences.
As of now, about 52% of all drain and culvert works are complete.
On road infrastructure, let's go to the north, where residents of Mangu in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region are not happy about government's inability to complete a construction of a storm drain, which started almost 2 years ago. Residents fear that flooding may occur if the storm drain is not completed on time. Those have vowed to reject any relief items from the government in times of flooding. Correspondent Swala Bewahab has engaged residents of Mangu on their concerns and has more in this report.
Residents of Mangu have expressed worry about the delay in completing this storm drain project. The project was supposed to address the flooding situation in the regional capital, particularly Mangu. But more than 2 years after work started, it is yet to be completed.
It has been predicted that there will be more rain this year. And as we said on last week, 2018, we experienced floods that affected most people along this drain. And even 2022, a life loss as a result of this flood. So we are again appealing to the government that the project has been abandoned for a long time. Which is supposed to be completed in 2021. We are now in 2023.
I don't know whether the authorities or the people involved, the MCE, the regional minister, and whosoever is involved, they have been passing through and they know this project have been awarded not by a dream. We are very much disappointed in them.
That was 2018, 2019 thereabout. The vice president was here to compensate people that actually experienced flood. So the question we always ask ourselves, the struggles or sometimes how the government is trying to compensate people that have been affected by flooding. Why not just prevent it in the first place?
The residents have expressed disappointment in the delay in completing the project. They said they are not ready to accept any relief items which will come as a result of floods.
Now, international partners who contribute financially, intellectually, or technically to Ghana's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic have been recognized by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Madam Shirley Ayoko-Boshwe, in Accra. At the ceremony, the minister was emphatic that Ghana could not have won the fight without their help.
Declared COVID-19 as not being a global health emergency after 3 years of health alerts. As of June 2023, the total number of COVID cases in the country since the outbreak on 12 March 2020 stands at 171,653, with deaths at 1,462. With COVID-19 vaccination centers established across the country, the government of Ghana has administered over 24,941,922 doses of vaccines. The pandemic, according to the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Madam Shirley Ayokobotre, brought to the fore the need for global partnerships, of which Ghana benefited greatly from.
The government and the people of Ghana consider it a great honor to acknowledge your partnership and support during this significant period in our country's history. It therefore gives us great pleasure to present these awards to you on behalf of His Excellency the President and the government and people of Ghana in recognition of your unwavering friendship and goodwill, particularly during a time when we all needed to be each other's keeper. It is my fervent hope that health diplomacy will endure for the mutual benefit of all partners as we rally around the shared principles and values which defines our common interest.
The Honorary Consul of Greece, Madam Mariana Gavrel, who spoke on behalf of all awardees, said the recognition not only represents a significant milestone in their individual careers, but also serves as a testament to the enduring friendship and diplomatic ties between nations and corporations.
The esteemed acknowledgement of our contributions to fostering strong bilateral relations between our governments, institutions we represent, and Ghana fills us with a profound sense of pride and accomplishment.
The ceremony comes on the back of a similar one by President Akufo-Addo to appreciate.
Back to the celebration of Afri-Exim Bank in Ghana, a Nigerian industrialist, Mr. Aliko Dangote, has called for an easy movement across the continent to facilitate trade. Mr. Dangote, speaking at the 30th anniversary celebrations of the Afri-Exim Bank, called for African countries to adopt a visa on arrival policy.
If you have a visa of UK or visa of European Union, visa of Canada, visa of America, when you come to Africa, we give you visa. Because those countries must have done all the security checks before they issue a visa. So let us latch behind
that's a clever idea.
But please, since I've seen a lot of our leaders here, what I think we need to do, we need to, first of all, make sure the regional markets, they have to work. Because you see, right now, we are not allowing free trade, but the other side that are working against us, the smugglers, they are having a free trade. Because, you can move goods from Benin, for example, into Nigeria. But those guys, you see them loading rice, loading stuff, and, going through the forest borders that we have. So, the African continent is one of the continents that I think it is a hidden story. It is a story that I believe when you have faith, you invest, you will make quite a lot of money.
Still on African economy and trade, the continent will soon domesticate all intra-African payments and extend the same to the Caribbean community and common market. According to the president of Afri-Exim Bank, Mr. Benedict Orama, by this singular move, Africa would be one step closer to a full integration of African and CARICOM economies.
And with PAPS, every African currency will become convertible within Africa. And every CARICOM currency will also become convertible, even in Africa. Afreximbank backs the clearing and settlement with an amount of $3 billion. With this level of financial commitment to start up this initiative, you can now understand why for 60 years it never saw the light of day. You can now appreciate why we need our own institutions if we hope to attain our developmental aspirations. Your Excellency, 60 years ago, the founding fathers of the OAU aspired to develop trade among African states by organizing and participating in African trade fairs. Afreximbank performs the organization of the trade fairs, of which 2 had been held in Cairo, Egypt, and Durban, South Africa, respectively. The 2 fairs attracted an aggregate of about 40,000 visitors and about $75 billion in deals.
And to the international front, unfortunate news as police in Ecuador say 6 people were killed and 6 others injured during a gang shootout in the port city of Guayaquil. This is the second mass shooting in the city this month. 2 weeks ago, a police officer and 4 other people were killed. 8 others were wounded. The attackers arrived in a black vehicle in a populous neighborhood. In the early hours of Monday, 4 of 5 got out and opened fire, even with several people in the street. A witness added, and these kinds of attacks have become ever more frequent in Ecuador, especially in Guayaquil, as rival gangs fight for markets and drug routes in the streets and prison, leaving a trail of corpses in their wake. That's it for GTV Breakfast News. There's more news when you log onto our website at gbcghanaonline.com. I am Maltiti Saida Sadek. Up next is BFS Clinic as usual, and we're looking at stress. How do you distress? Do you go for a massage? Do you just go and sit in a sauna? Well, we'll be talking all about that and the strategies you can use to live a healthier life. A bit later, the headlines will come your way after. I'll be back at 7 with sports. Stay with us.